ladies and gentlemen, now hosting the RizzoCast, put your hands together for Steven Risotto!
What's going on, everybody, and welcome. My name is Steven Risotto. I cover the San Francisco Giants for SF Bay and Giants Baseball Insider, and I'm the host of RizzoCast, a podcast that features current and former big league players, coaches, fans, media, and others who are regarded as some of the brightest minds around the game of baseball. This interview came to you from the podcast studio inside the Golden Gate Express podcast studio at the campus of San Francisco State University. Today's guest is Luis Gonzalez. No, not that Luis Gonzalez, but Luis Gonzalez, the current MLB outfielder who's played in parts of 3 big league seasons with the White Sox and most recently in 2022 with the San Francisco Giants. After growing up in Mexico, Gonzalez attended the University of New Mexico before being selected in the 3rd round by the White Sox in the 2017 draft. He's made his biggest mark, though, in 2022 when he was the National League Rookie of the Month in May with San Francisco, while also notably appearing in games as a position player pitching. That was a lot of fun. We talked about that. He had fun with it. He's currently a free agent looking for a bounce back after a series of injuries in recent seasons. We discuss his comeback trail, his Mexican roots, almost playing in the WBC, playing with San Francisco, his approach at the plate, the interesting way he celebrated his first big league home run, pitching in big league games, finding new teams, battling through some injuries, so much more. This is episode number 156, and let's get started. All right, we are back with Luis Gonzalez, and Luis is nice enough to take some time and join the show. Luis, what's going on? How you doing? Welcome.
Not much. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. First and foremost, I mean, we have to talk. The postseason just ended. And as a current player and not a member of any of the teams that were playing in October, did you kind of get the opportunity to be locked in on any of the action? And are you still a baseball fan when you're not playing? I guess that's the question.
Yeah, no, 100%. I watch baseball like every day. I know a lot of people find it boring, or some of the other players like, I can't watch it. But no, I love baseball. I love watching it. I love studying like the pitchers and what the hitters are doing as well. So yeah, I was watching almost every postseason game, and I thought, it was really good playoffs, I thought.
Absolutely. And if you're watching a game like in the postseason or whatnot, do you get intrigued more by the high scoring games or the low scoring games? Which one of those games kind of intrigue you the most? Which type of game?
I kind of want to say like the low scoring games a little bit more. Maybe like a 2-1 ball game where like the pitchers are just, having a duel, and then it's just like that one big hit from that one, whoever the player was, but like that one big hit is like what kind of capitalized the win. When it's like a high scoring game, there's so many homers, so many hits that you kind of forget who did what. But when it's like a low scoring game and somebody just, gets that winning run, it's like you kind of, I think I like that a little bit more.
Yeah, no, I agree.
But if I'm playing, yeah, I want that game to be a high scoring game. I want to get like 4 hits, so a little different if I'm playing.
The games where you just end up getting like 6 at bats and you walk away like with a 4-for-6 game or something like that. Yeah, that seems to be ideal. But I mean, the high scoring games in the postseason, you lose track of what happened. Like if something happened in the first inning and it feels like it happened like the game before. So it's kind of hard to keep track of. And I know that you've been training recently too, and getting ready for the 2024 season. We're recording this. It's early November, directly after the postseason. What does this time in the off season usually mean for you in terms of preparing workouts and all of that?
Yeah, I feel like at this time of the year, November, starting to kind of like ramp it up a little bit. I haven't really done much hitting, much throwing. I've done a little bit of it, but not like consistently where I'm just like in a consistent routine right now. So I think like by the end of November, like I'll be more in a consistent routine with my baseball and with my baseball activities. Right now it's just a lot of training and a lot of weight room stuff and a lot of pool exercises and stuff like that. So right now, just kind of taking it a little easier, but like starting to ramp up a little bit.
Pool exercises. So not a lot of people like mention the pool exercises. We always hear about like people, lifting and everything and doing some cardio and running around and pushing cars up hills, right? We always see, but the pool, it's kind of underrated. Not a lot of people mention that, but is it kind of well utilized within the league? People working out in pools, and because it seems like it's helpful in a lot of ways.
Yeah, yeah, I've been doing pool workouts for a long time now. Like I've loved to swim. I like freestyle swimming, but like now recently I've been incorporating more like lower body kind of stuff like in the pool. Like I just walking forward and backwards and like side to side and like doing other little leg raises and stuff in the pool. So kind of doing more of that stuff. But yeah, I feel like the pools like were never really big until I got to the big leagues where they had one of those like pools where the current is coming and you can like swim and you're like kind of swimming in place. So in the minors, like we didn't have that at all. But like once I got to the Giants, they had that pool, and I was able to get in there like every day before the game started and just like kind of loosen up and warm up in the pool. I know Lamont Wade really liked the pool exercises as well. So we were like in there together, kind of just, getting loose in the pool. It's really nice.
That's awesome. And speaking of other activities kind of off the field, I heard from a little birdie, and I see you're sitting in it right now. You're sitting in a gaming chair, that you're a big Fortnite guy. So do I have that right? Are you a big, because I know you're a big gamer and
Yeah.
Fortnite guy. Like, what's the gaming routine these days for Luis Gonzalez? Let's hear it.
Yeah, no, I mean, whenever I get back from my workouts, I like to chill, but I feel like I probably log in at least 3 hours a day, like 2.5 hours a day in Fortnite. Depending on the day, maybe a little bit more, maybe less, but yeah, man, this game has come out probably 7 years ago, 6 years ago, and I started playing it when it came out, and I've progressively like switched up a couple things to like get better at. Like I got a PC instead of playing on an Xbox. I got a monitor instead of playing on a TV. I got like a scuff controller where you have like more buttons on your controller. So yeah, I just kind of been trying to get better at this game, and it's like there's so much room for improvement in this game, which is like crazy. And it's like I know it's weird because it's kind of like a little kid game and all the building and stuff, but I feel like all the building is just like what's makes this game very unique and creative.
Yeah, I think it's funny because a lot of people like upgrade their cars and their rims on their tires, and like you're upgrading the controller and everything. So I don't play Fortnite, but for those that do, like, what's your strategy in the game? Like, what? Because I know that the goal is to be the last one standing, right? You and your team be the last one standing. So what is like your strategy in trying to navigate the Fortnite map?
Hopefully my squad and my teammates can hold their own. But no, I mean, I just like I have fun, so I just like try to go for kills and high kill games, and it's the game's like always updating and changing weapons and changing kind of like your mobility and stuff. So that's kind of what has kept me in the game as well. Is like I got buddies that play, and then the game is just constantly changing, and the maps are changing, and the guns change. So I thought I was gonna grow apart from this game, but I feel like they've done a good job of like changing it up where it's staying relevant.
Awesome. Well, hopefully you stay engaged with that. That's a cool outlet. And let's get into your career a little bit. Born in Mexico and then moved to Arizona area when you were a kid. Do you remember anything at all about living in Mexico and kind of what that situation was like before you came to the States? Because it's a pretty unique background.
Yeah, yeah, no, I definitely remember like the area that I grew up in. A bunch of the park games that I was at. We love to play baseball in the park with all my buddies. Um, yeah, like the yo-yos were big. I don't know, like I don't know how to say it in English, but it's called a trompo, and it's like I don't know if you know what that is, but yeah, I remember playing the with those trompos like all the time as a little kid, and yeah, just I don't remember a whole lot, but I remember like just a lot of baseball, family, and and yeah,
Yeah, and
soccer too. I played some soccer, so it was like soccer and baseball, and then once I get to the States, then I was like, okay, soccer's not for me anymore.
yeah, soccer is still as big as it is worldwide. It's still pretty big in the States. And there's a new David Beckham Netflix documentary out that I have to go watch because I heard that that's pretty good. And kind of still on the ties to Mexico. I heard you tell a story one time about learning English and how it was difficult, as one might assume. What were some of the strategies that you used in mastering the ability to become bilingual, because bilingual like is so important in this world today? And I know they tell us in journalism school, like bilingual, it's important to be a bilingual reporter. Like you'll automatically have more people to talk to in whatever you're covering. And I know Wilmer Flores has the Friends walk up music because he learned English using Friends. So what were kind of the strategies that you used to kind of master the ability to speak English too?
Yeah. Yeah, I came to the States when I was probably like in the end of first grade, so I feel like for me it was like difficult, but like by the time I was in third, fourth grade, I was already like able to understand it and communicate a little bit. But I always like, struggled with pronouncing words and yeah, like some of the words like I didn't know, like my vocabulary wasn't good, so it was difficult at times, and like you know get made a little fun of and stuff. But no, I feel like my friends really helped me. Obviously, like my teachers helped me a lot, but like just having my buddies and baseball as well, like sports, because I was always playing sports, and just always speaking with my teammates, and like that's kind of really what made my English become more advanced. Is like I was hanging out with a lot of my teammates and playing sports. So yeah, it was kind of, and like watching TV too. My sister and I, like we were there together for each other. So we watched a lot of TV when my parents had to go for work and we're home alone. We watched like a bunch of Disney Channel, and we play like video games too, and they'll like the video games will talk to you and stuff, and you got like subtitles. So it's like another way of understanding the language was watching TV, playing video games and stuff like that.
Yeah, and I guess staying on that bilingual topic, how important has that been for you in a professional baseball clubhouse and in a big league clubhouse? Because not only to talk a lot with the English speaking players and a lot of the Spanish speaking players, but also kind of maybe acting like as a liaison between the two, right? Kind of being someone that could translate from time to time. How has that been effective for you to be bilingual? Because a lot of the American born players don't have that same relationship with the Latin born players.
Yeah, no, it's been super effective for me, like the being able to communicate with the Latins and the Americans, like for instance, like Jose Abreu or something, talking to him in Spanish, and like Luis Robert didn't know any English at the time, so talking to him in Spanish, and like kind of picking their brains and hanging out with them and kind of seeing how they go about their business and stuff. So like it's been really helpful to be able to communicate with, in two languages, and the main two languages that you'll probably see when you play baseball.
Yeah, of course. And it's obvious how much obviously your roots and your country mean to you. And I know that you really wanted to play in the WBC last season, but didn't get that chance because of some issues. Is not participating something that, maybe you think about a lot and maybe hoping to get that opportunity again?
Yeah, yeah, I'm counting down the days until that 2026 WBC. So yeah, no, it was unfortunate that I wasn't able to get in there, but obviously that's not my goal. My goal is to be an everyday big leaguer. So that would have been a lot of fun, though. That would have been a lot of fun, and I'm so super bummed out that I couldn't play in that one. And hopefully in 2026, I'm fully healthy, and they invite me again, and I can make my way over there.
Yeah, they'll be ready for you. And I'm sure the same or similar disappointment was experienced when, a lot of talk was like, oh, Luis Gonzalez won't be able to play in that series in Mexico City against the Padres, right? And that
Yeah.
was the big series. And all the festivities and the meaning behind it. Is that also considered maybe one of the ones that got away? I'm sure you would have liked to be there.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, 100%. Like yeah, no, when I found out about that series, I was just super ecstatic, and I was like, dang, like I'm gonna go be able to go back to Mexico and play in front of like all those fans. Like it was really exciting for me. And then when I knew that I wasn't gonna be able to go, it was a little upsetting, but it is what it is.
Yeah, I'm sure. And kind of back to your path a little bit. I know Arizona is obviously a pretty legit hotspot for youth baseball, especially travel baseball teams and showcases that are hosted there. And you live there now, or you do some stuff there now. When did you kind of first get involved with baseball, and how did it become something that you realized you were pretty good at?
Like the very first time that I got involved,
Very first time, that was probably in Mexico, right?
very first time, I think I was like 3 years old, and
Yeah.
that was when my parents started buying me like equipment for baseball. I remember having this little machine where you just like put a ball like on top of the tee, and then you wait a couple of seconds and the ball like shoots up, and then you have to like hit the ball. So it's like, man, since I was super young, I all I know is baseball. My dad, bought me a bunch of baseball toys, and since then it's like it's been my love.
Mhm. And when did you realize you were good at it? And you could do something with it. You could go further with it.
I think like at first, I mean, when I was probably like 9 or 10, 11, 12, around that age. But like when I was little, I was playing with all the much older guys, and I was, doing okay. So I felt like I was like, okay, I'm pretty good at this. Like I'll keep it going. And I played soccer too. And soccer, I was good at soccer because I was fast, but I didn't find soccer as fun. And when I got to the States and I continued to play baseball and get into these travel teams, and that's when I was like, okay, like I'm pretty good at this. This is gotta try to make this a career.
Yeah, and for those that are unfamiliar with you, you are an outfielder, but the folks at the University of Mexico got the chance to see more of your arm on the mound, and that was kind of a big part of your game in college. And we're going to get to your big league appearances in just a minute. But was there ever a thought of trying to enter the big leagues as a pitcher at all, or or were you just completely honed in on offense the whole time, or was there any thought about pitching?
I was like I was all for the hitting. I wanted to be a hitter. That's kind of what I was striving to do. Pitching was always just kind of like my secondary, like my backup. Like if nobody wants me as a hitter, then I'll be a pitcher. But yeah, when teams like were talking to me like out of high school, saying that they wanted me to pitch, I had a pretty good arm as a lefty, so yeah, I had a couple interests in going as a pitcher. But for me, I was just like, oh, I wanted to play every day. I wanted to be that guy that's on the field every day, and if you're a pitcher, you can't really do that. So
Mm.
I always liked it.
Yeah, and you're obviously far from this point now, but if the opportunity to pitch full time again would ever come about, and like you need one last Hail Mary at some point, obviously not now, would you ever turn back to pitching?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, I think I really like enjoyed pitching. I really enjoyed being on that mound, and just like you dictate the game kind of. So man, pitching was a lot of fun. I would definitely like if somebody offered me a two-way job, I'd take it.
Hey, look at that. Uh,
Yeah.
and then I was looking at your bio at the University of New Mexico, and it said your favorite athletes were Mike Trout. Your favorite athlete was Mike Trout. Your favorite food was carne asada, and then your favorite movie was Trey or Troy.
Troy.
Troy, sorry. And then favorite TV show is Breaking Bad. So are all four of those still intact, or do you have any favorites across the board?
Um, I guess I've kind of like yeah, that's kind of all pretty similar still. I think like my favorite player is probably not Trout anymore, but like growing up, I really did love watching him play, and he was a stud. So it was kind of like where the time I was coming up, he was like in his he was going off. So that's
Yeah.
kind of who I really enjoyed watching patrol center field. But I mean, I loved watching like Ken Griffey Jr. and like Jim Edmonds and like Randy Johnson, like Luis Gonzalez. So I feel like guys in that area, I feel like affected me as a ball player a little bit more because they're the ones that made me enjoy the game and really love it.
Yeah, and Breaking Bad. Did you ever get a chance to watch Better Call Saul at all?
I watched like a little bit of it. I didn't ever finish it, but yeah, I didn't find it as good as Breaking Bad.
Nothing will be as good as Breaking Bad, but it's close. And towards the end, there is some Breaking Bad tie-in. So I would recommend going back and checking it
Yeah.
out.
And that was
Um,
like one of my favorite shows too, because like I went to UNM, and like in that show you see so many familiar areas. So it was cool for me to just like watch the show and be like, oh dang, like that's in that gas station right across the street from this place. So it's like, dang, like that's cool.
that's awesome. So the White Sox picked you third round 2017, and they developed you through their system and had just 13 plate appearances across 2 seasons in the big leagues. What did you make about your tenure in Chicago? Because I know a lot of people hold the organization that drafted and developed them kind of close to their heart. So
Yeah.
what does your time in Chicago mean to you, getting a cup of coffee with them?
Yeah, it was awesome. It was awesome. I can't complain. It was a great experience. Met a lot of great dudes like on my way up. Played with a lot of great guys. So it's like I learned a lot of great things. So the White Sox, I obviously wish they could have given me a little bit more opportunities when I was up there. But like if you are long enough in this game, it's a business and they gotta make decisions, they gotta make moves and stuff. So it's like it's all understandable, but can't complain, man. I love Chicago. I loved all the fans. The Chicago fans were great. So the stadium was really cool. Chicago, I've never been to Chicago, so Chicago was really cool as well. And yeah, Charlotte was really nice as well. That's where like the AAA is, and spent some time there, and I enjoyed my time. So it was nice.
Yeah, and this is going to be your probably your most asked question you get asked. But do you still get mistaken for Luis Gonzalez from the Diamondbacks, or does that not happen anymore?
Like mistaking that's my dad.
I guess, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
Okay, let's start there
I
because
never got really mistaken for him, but I got mistaken all the time for him being my dad. But
or like related in some way, right?
right, right, and yeah, I still get it. I think know that I'm not related to him anymore. So like in the baseball world, I don't get it as much. But yeah, whenever I was like growing up, man, it's just like a nonstop question is like, is this guy related to the real Luis Gonzalez?
And especially being in Arizona, like, has
Yeah.
there ever been someone like so sure where they go up to you and go, "Hey, man, how's pops?" Like, it's just,
No, no,
so usually it's just the question. Yeah.
yeah. No,
Uh,
but I got a quick funny story is that I
yeah.
was I was at the fair on like 2 Fridays ago, 3 Fridays ago, and I saw Luis Gonzalez and I
Oh,
ran into him and it was we had a nice chat. So it was cool, man. I feel like we have a not a close relationship, but like every time we see each other, he acknowledges me, and I obviously like loved watching him play, and he was one of my idols. So it's cool. It's cool that he knows me, and we kind of have a little bit of something.
yeah. Dad? That's funny. And then the Giants, of course, made the claim off waivers shortly after, and you probably knew that you'd be out initially when you first got there with the injury, and then the organization kind of chose to stick with you when they really didn't need to, right? They tell me about the culture around San Francisco and Oracle Park that's so important because the Giants kind of gave you that opportunity to let you rehab, right? They oversaw the rehab process and then they gave you that chance. So tell me about that culture around that city and playing with them.
Oh, it was really cool, man. Like I love California. Growing up in Arizona, I'd go to like San Diego all the time, and it was just super nice weather, great people. Traffic's probably not great, but like the city itself and the weather and the people, the fans, they were all great, man. I tip my cap off to them because there's that stadium Oracle got filled, almost every night, like 35,000, 30,000, 40,000 fans. So it was like it was cool, man. It was really cool playing for the Giants, and I know they got a really big fan base as well, and they supported me a lot through my time there, and I just appreciate them a lot. And I wish it could have gone a little bit longer, but who knows? Maybe I'll come back as a Giant later.
Yeah, of course. And I know a lot of players take advantage of their off days, right? But did you ever give yourself enough time to check out all the San Francisco landmarks in the city? And if so, do you have like a favorite area or activity to do in the city that's kind of been your go-to?
Yeah, I wish I could have had a little bit more time because I didn't have a car, so I
Oh
was
yeah.
I was walking and Ubering to the stadium every time. But yeah, we got to go to the Golden Gate Park, got to go see the Golden Gate Bridge. So those two landmarks were amazing. And where else? I got to go around downtown San Francisco a little bit too. So a lot of good restaurants, and got to go on like some boats on an off day, with the squad. So boating around the water is always one of my favorite things to do. So
Yeah,
it's really fun.
all the Giants young guys, they always stay across the street at the Via. Did you ever stay at the
Yeah,
Via?
yeah, yeah. That was it.
Yeah, the Via. Do you have a favorite like away city or ballpark? Because there's some nice stadiums in the National League. That and a lot of them have a lot of history too. There's some nice stadiums in the NL West too, with Dodger Stadium and Chase Field and all of that. So do you have a favorite city or away city or ballpark?
I think one of my favorite ones was LA for sure. Like playing in LA, that was a lot of fun. I feel like they just great atmosphere there, great stadium. The music is amazing. So they got big old sound woofers in the back. So if you're
Oh my
you know you're shagging out there and you got the music going on, it's like dang, like it's the whole place is shaking. It's cool. I really liked Wrigley. Like Wrigley Field was really cool being there. And but like stadium wise, I thought like Target Field was one of the nicer stadiums. Like that park is super cool. Um, but yeah, I want to. I mean, and Oracle too. Like the Giants place, that was one of my favorite places to play for sure.
Yeah, Dodger Stadium is just so loud. The music just, I think it's like unhealthy the amount that the music blares there.
Yeah, yeah.
You know,
I love San Luis too. San Luis was great. But but yeah, I feel like with the Dodgers, like them Dodger fans, I'm in the outfield and they're chirping at me, and if I turn around and I look at them, they start chirping even more. So it's
you
like,
like that. You're fueled by
yeah,
the energy in the room. Yeah.
I like the fans being out there and like just getting a little getting a little shit talk, so
Yeah. Yeah.
it's
Um,
fun.
did somebody tell you or did you realize that you were the 1000th player in Giants franchise history?
Yeah, yeah. Somebody told me that, and yeah, I was like, wow, that's pretty cool.
This is probably the weirdest note that I came across when I was like, doing preparation for this. I was like, Luis Gonzalez, the 1000th player. So that's going to be like some trivia question coming up
Yeah,
soon. So
yeah.
people could identify you with that. Obviously, it's a big gap playing in AAA in the big leagues, and you were shuttled back and forth a few times. What's the biggest adjustment from playing in the PCL where the ball flies, right? PCL is a hitter's league, and then playing in the big leagues. What did you find was like the biggest adjustment between a place like Sacramento and a place like San Francisco?
Mm, I mean, man, like the biggest adjustment is, I guess, obviously, like there's a couple of things like talent wise, pitchers, and there's probably like a little bit less like scouting reports and video on guys like in the minors opposed to like in the big leagues. You got so many different videos and statistics on your opposing pitchers, and like little tips where uh like little tips to help you maybe see like if he's holding or if he's doing this, it's going to be a changeup, or if he's doing this, it's going to be a fastball. So, coaches in the big leagues are really good at catching small little tips like that to see if the pitchers are tipping. But I mean, other than that, it's just like the atmosphere. The stadium's a lot bigger, and the lights are brighter. But man, that just makes the game even more fun and entertaining. And it was like obviously like the spread and the clubhouses and the trainers and all that is it's top notch. So it's kind of like the main difference is all the different staff
Yeah.
and ballparks and cities that you go to, and
Yeah.
obviously the talent a little bit as well.
And side note, I've never been there, but I've heard so many good things about Papago in Arizona. Is that like the most gorgeous like minor league facility? I've heard that it's better than a lot of big league facilities like Papago, and the effort that the Giants have put into making that place like just like
Yeah.
a palace.
Oh, it was sweet, man. Yeah, really cool. A lot of space, man. A lot of space, and the weight room was sweet. The training room was big. They got cold tubs and hot tubs, so it's really good, man. The Giants do a really good job of taking care of their players and putting the most of their facilities, making the
Yeah,
most of their.
definitely. And I want to ask about hitting for just a second. How would you describe yourself as a hitter? What's your approach at the plate? Because we've seen some success at the big league level. Of course, you won NL Rookie of the Month honors in May 2022, and just completely locked into the plate. I mean, what's your approach when you're going good? What's your approach at the plate?
Mainly just like see ball, hit ball. Let the ball travel and hit a nice backspin line drive. I feel like when I'm at my best, I'm looking for a ball that's middle away, and I'm letting it get travel, and then just reacting to the inside pitch. So it's been a learning experience of kind of being in the bigs and how obviously I had that a lot of success in the beginning and then not so much in the middle. So it's just like a game of adjustments. You gotta adjust. The pitchers are gonna adjust. The coaches are gonna pitch you a little different. So you just gotta adjust. I gotta adjust to the pitching. And yeah, man, you just gotta I like for me it's just see ball, hit ball. I don't really try to do anything too crazy, and I just let my hands and my eyes move my hands.
Always hunting fastball.
Yeah, I'm always on the fastball, but like sometimes I do like sit on off speed, but it's like I'm still on the fastball. It's like I'm sitting on the off speed, but I'm not getting off the fastball. So it might not make a lot of sense to people, but it's like you have such a small window in baseball that sometimes educated guess is gonna be nice.
Yeah. And also because there's no such thing as fastball counts anymore. Like 2-1, 3-1.
Right.
You can't expect a fastball anymore. It's crazy. And I'm sure you get asked about your first big league home run quite a bit in Milwaukee. So I'll switch gears and I'm going to ask about the celebration after the game, because I know what the Giants do after the game when a guy gets his first big league win or first big league hit or first big league homer. It's a pretty gnarly celebration. I'm sure it was fun for you, and then you had to probably clean some shit out. But what did the Giants clubhouse do to you after that first big league homer?
Well, I just got in a little laundry cart and I got rolled all the way to the shower, and man, they just poured everything on me: beers, mayo, freaking shaving cream. Um, there was other things in there that stuck to me a little bit, and it was kind of hard to get off. But no, it was cool, man. It was cool. Everyone was in the shower and just pouring stuff on me, and it's like, this is kind of a dream come true, a little bit.
Yeah, and I know that you're a guy that takes great pride in your hair, so I'm sure that was not a fun. It was fun. Obviously it's a good thing. They're celebrating you, but probably had to pick some stuff out there. Uh,
Yeah. A
yeah,
homer was a dream come true, not the celebration game part,
yeah.
all that stuff on me.
Sorry, you were waiting for it to be over. And the Giants, going back to the pitching here, the Giants were probably a little cognizant about your history as a pitcher in college. Did they ask you like, hey, would you feel comfortable if we're down to be on the mound in a certain situation?
Yeah, they basically asked me an inning before I went out there to pitch. Cap came up to me when we were getting blown out by St. Louis, and Cap just came in after we got our third out, and he was just like, "Hey, like if we need you to pitch, like can you go pitch?" And I said, "Yeah, like I'll go do it." So I went back out there to the field, and sure enough, like Junior Marte gets in a little bit of a trouble, and he can't get out of it, and I got Cap calling me in from left field, telling me to get it. So it was cool, man. At first, I was really nervous and didn't know if I was gonna be able to throw some strikes, but once I threw that first one, I was like, okay, this is nice. And then at first, I was just throwing like, regular 82 miles an hour, 80-mile-an-hour little meatballs. And when I came back from the dugout from the mound, Yaz was just like, dude, just lob it in there, man. Just lob it in there. And I'm just like, I don't know how to do that. And he's just like, just practice it. Just practice. I was like, okay, I'll go practice it. And I was on the mound and I was just floating it in there. And I was like, okay, I think I can do this. And yeah, once the inning started, I just kept it going. And I feel like there's a couple things that went viral that game. So it was pretty funny, man. It was a good time.
Yeah. Okay. Real talk. Do you think a guy who throws like those lob balls regularly, do you think he would have success at the big league level? Or do you think, obviously big league hitters, they adjust to everything. Would they adjust right away? Because I feel like, we see position players get lit up sometimes, but we also see them dominate sometimes because of the difference. Yeah. But do you think that there would be adjustment? Would it work?
Oh, no. There would be adjustments for sure on the big league part, on the big league hitters, man. They're way too good to not let that ball just get deep, because most of the times when a pitcher comes in, like everyone just wants to, take him deep, and like hit something long. So it's like if you just let that ball get deep, it's super easy. So it's like I know the big league hitters would adjust, and man, it would not be a good sign of just lobbing the ball in there.
Yeah, no. Now that I think of it, second time through, I mean, that guy on the mound's probably screwed.
Yeah.
Probably won't be good. A few more here before we wrap. I know obviously injuries have been a pain for you throughout your career, and you recently had back surgery earlier this season. And you're 28 years old, and in the context of life, you're still very much a young guy, right? Did you ever have any concerns whatsoever about like your long-term health? Because it seems like, scary to go through a back injury at, 28 years old, and that's never an area where you want to mess around. So was there ever that fear of like, man, I'm still a young guy and this is starting to pile up a little bit?
I mean, like in a way, it like a little bit last year, like I blew out my back right before spring training, and it was pretty emotional time for me, like just knowing that I could have broken with the squad, and it would have been like the first time I ever broke with the squad. And like we talked about the Mexico series, I knew I was gonna have to miss that. So yeah, it was like, and I just had missed previous time for my labrum. I had the labrum surgery, so I had, just got done rehabbing that one, and then to go through like the back surgery and stuff. Like, no, I don't want to say it was scary, but it was, it wasn't the most pleasing thing to talk to Dr. Watkins, and he's telling me he's got to slip cut up a little thing that's in my back, so, and it was gonna hold me back some more. So yeah, it was tough, but man, I feel like, for me, I'm gonna play this game until the wheels fall off, and they're not falling off anytime soon. So I'm ready to go.
Yeah. How do you, that's what I was going to ask. How do you feel now? Like no limits? Like, is it
Yeah.
still full throttle like it was before? How are you feeling?
Yeah, I feel great. I feel great. Had my surgery back in March, and where I'm at now I'm in a good spot. So I just continue to work out and yeah, stay healthy for a full year this time.
Yeah. What's next for you in 2024? Is there any like adjustments that you want to make? Obviously trying to get with the team is probably the first one. But what's the overall goal this off season and looking ahead to hopefully getting with the club in spring training?
I mean, my main goal is just to work on my mobility, work on my flexibility and my hip strength. Um, Obviously, there I can do things like in the cage that could help me out as well, little routines and stuff like that. But for me, man, it's just mainly weight room stuff. I want to just get my hips strong, get my core very strong, my shoulders, and yeah, just be ready for a full season. I want to be able to hopefully play 150 games this year in 2024. So
Yeah.
yeah, man, that's kind of what I'm having to do. I just want to stay healthy, and I just want to be on the field.
And a few more Fortnite kills too, right? That's right up there with it, right?
Yeah. Always.
Yeah, always. Luis, man, I appreciate you coming on, and I'm definitely wishing you the best of luck moving forward, and hopefully we get to see you with the team coming up soon. But yeah, I appreciate you spending a few minutes here and hopping on the show and chatting for a bit. Appreciate it.
Absolutely, man. Yeah, thank you for having me.
And everybody, of course, could go ahead and follow the podcast on Twitter and Instagram at RizzoCast. Go check us out, Spotify, wherever you find your podcast. I'll link Luis's socials. He's a good follow on all social media. You could check him out. And maybe one day in a Fortnite lobby, you'll be paired with him on a team or whatever. So, all right. Thank you, everybody, for listening, and see you next time.